Yo, welcome to Edpikia. Today is the grateful day, where we celebrate what we are thankful for and eat a grand feast with our families. I'm talking about Thanksgiving, of course. If you guys live in a different country where you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I still wanna wish a great day to you. But to those who do, happy Thanksgiving. And similar to last year, today we will list the characters we are grateful for. Last year we did BFDI, so this year we will list my top 5 characters in inanimate insanity. My favorite object show. And like last year, I have my Thanksgiving costume, so let's put it on and we will begin. Alright guys, let's get started.
Something seems suspicious.
Suspicious? Nothing is suspicious. I don't know what you're talking about. This is my Thanksgiving costume.
Well, it does look like your Thanksgiving costume, but something seems off about it. You did wear the costume I gave you, right?
Yeah, of course. Why would I not?
Okay, well, that's a lie because you always wear some dumb costume, so now I'm super suspicious. Let me look at the notes. You're supposed to wear a turkey costume.
That's what I'm wearing, my turkey costume.
Damn right, I see now. You're wearing a chica costume from Five Nights at Freddy's. She's a chicken, not a turkey. Go wear the costume we gave you.
No, not at all. That costume looks terrible. At least with this costume it's something I like. It's Chica, and she's gonna be in the movie releasing in like a week. Come on, this could be great promotion.
Yeah, shut up and go wear the turkey costume.
Okay fine, but it looks stupid. Why can't I be Chica? She's cool. Whatever. Holy crap, I look stupid with this goofy costume. Why would you guys pick this costume? Wait. No way, y'all did this on purpose. Y'all are trying to embarrass me.
Yeah lol. I didn't think you would catch on.
It was my idea, lol.
Of course it was. Y'all only get along by making fun of me. Whatever. Today, we will be going over my top 5 inanimate insanity characters. These characters are the ones I'm grateful for the most, the ones that helped shape up inanimate insanity as my favorite object show, the object show I'm grateful for the most. BFDI is a close second, don't worry. Now, with the thankfulness and gratefulness spirit in, let's go over my top 5 inanimate insanity characters. At number 5, we have OJ. I always have a strong appeal towards characters who are more chill and serious. Reasons why I liked Tree and Gatey, though, as time has gone on I started liking them less. The same can't be said for OJ. And I think the reason why is because he is at least still entertaining. In Season 1, he was a great contestant to root for. Despite the show's chaos, his contrasting chill and less chaotic personality was a great contrast for the show. This caused him to be more emphasized and more memorable due to this personality causing him to stand out, since he was pretty different. Everyone during that season had a really heightened mood. Everyone was either too stupid, too silly, or too angry. They had a trait or stereotype that really stood out. OJ really didn't, and that caused him to be different from the others, therefore making him stand out and be more memorable. I really liked him being like this. And as he progressed in that season, he became better at forming friendships, as he was able to make alliances. But he kept getting betrayed. It wasn't until he decided to stick with one person that he really learned how to maintain a friendship. He helped Paper with his issues, so therefore Paper didn't betray him and remained loyal. I honestly really liked their friendship because they both acted as the underdogs throughout that season and had to work together a lot, while other characters got into wacky shenanigans that led to them winning without trying. OJ and Paper had to actually try and work hard. This ultimately paid off as OJ persevered and ultimately won the season. His knowledge of friendship ultimately led to the decision of dedicating his winnings to a hotel where they could all live. Since he did own the hotel, he along with Paper got to manage it. This led to him actually falling into a stereotype of being the overworked and stressed caretaker. He learned how to be responsible and become way more serious than he ever was. This led to him becoming more harsh and prideful. When he hosted his episode in Season 2, this more harshful and prideful personality caused him to be more harsh to the contestants and make them clean the hotel and make an unfair elimination and challenge. So yeah, it was clear OJ changed a lot due to managing the hotel. He still maintained his responsible and managing personality and carried it into his next season. He was chosen to compete in Season 3, which was such a great decision. With this, we got a new side to competitive OJ. Instead of being an underdog, he became more of a leader, so leader characters always appealed to me. But this formed a rivalry against Paintbrush, who also wanted to act as the leader. So the two had a rivalry/partner dynamic. Both of them competed for the status of leader on the team. This heightened in episode 4 where they got into an argument, since OJ was not listening to his teammates and just telling them to follow his lead. This caused Silver Spoon and Candle to backstab him and eliminate him in a genius plan. While this was sad to see, it was kinda fitting to see OJ get eliminated due to his managing experience from the hotel, making him believe everyone should listen to him no matter what. So, he was rightfully eliminated. He was okay with his elimination since he did realize that this was a sign that the team needs some sort of reform. His next appearance would be in the movie where he still had his pride and ego, to the point he just didn't let Paper be listened and just pushed him to the side. So his storyline still hasn't been resolved. And when Paper stands up to him, he gets killed. So yeah, OJ honestly had the most brutal death in the movie because he was just stood up to and he didn't even have time to apology because he was immediately annexed. But in the afterlife, he and Paper finally got to reunite where OJ finally, after all those years, realized how much of an ego he gained with the hotel and stuff, so he decided to get out of his head and truly evolve his friendship with Paper and see him more of an actual individual. They even begin dating, which was sweet. And now, in season 4, he's a member of the OSC, where he's a leader of a new society where he keeps things organized in the society. So I'm guessing he had a major role in setting up a new system and order and stuff. And he does a pretty great job at it too. They have a stable society, though it does have a problem with some characters who still haven't found themselves. He listens to fan and agrees to the new season. So ultimately I think the main reason I love OJ is because of his chill and serious personality that evolved to being more responsible and organized, that caused him to be a team leader that had a great dynamic with Paintbrush. And the cherry on top is his development where he gained an ego after his hotel and winning, so he became more harsh and prideful, but he ultimately realized that he became and took steps and became better. So yeah, OJ is great character. And you best believe I'm getting the OJ plush. That's a plush I've been waiting quite a while for. At number 4, we have Cabby. Cabby is honestly such a great character, and it's no wonder she won the season in the same one she debuted. She really deserved it. In the beginning of the season, she was the knowledgeable and new smart one. But after fans snooped and found out Cabby had files of everyone, she was seen as some sort of villain who just wanted everyone to act the way they were written. Ultimately, they saw her as some creep who just weirded everyone out and wanted them to act the way she had written them as. While this was such a horrible way to perceive her as, she didn't exactly help her case when she acted really rude and Linda had an ego. She was a bit snobby about it as she constantly got into arguments with Test Tube, but she was still just trying to help in the end and felt hurt the way Test Tube and Dan tried to make her out as someone villainous. She tried to pack things up with Test Tube, so she decided to form an alliance with her in the new team phase. She continued her usual ways of being arrogant yet correct about how everyone acted, but she meant well. But Test Tube ended up backstabbing Cabby and eliminating her. Now, I know Cabby was a bit rude at times and she did have an ego, but this was just it justified. She was still just trying to help, and Test Tube was honestly just playing rude for just assuming Cabby was being villainous. But Test Tube was kind of an idiot for this. She clearly saw Cabby was using the files to help in the challenge. So why would she do this? She was honestly dumb in this situation. This left Cabby completely heartbroken. So she remained an indefinite island waiting for a chance to rejoin, and once that opportunity was shown, she took it and used her knowledge at hand. While she still retained her usual personality, she actually learned to be a bit more open in this challenge. So she got to rejoin and immediately voted out Test Tube. Justified honestly, but as Test Tube was getting eliminated, she was still going on about how Cabby's files were bad and stuff. So this led to Cabby being more anxious and trying to satisfy everyone. She formed an alliance and tried to please everyone on it. But Silver Spoon and Candle betrayed the alliance, so Cabby really had to lock in. This led to her being such a people pleaser that she ended up pushing Paintbrush away. It was revealed that despite Cabby being so knowledgeable, she actually trouble maintaining memories and forgot quite consistently. So yeah, turns out Cabby has a huge problem and these files help her. So yeah, Test Tube, not a good look. You are truly cooked beyond comprehension. This left Cabby in yin yang. Yet, Cabby remained loyal. Despite her having an opportunity to throw him under the bus, she found a way to have both of them safe. And her efforts were a success, as not only was Candle safe, but Balloon joined their alliance. In their next challenge, she was paired up with Bot. While at first an unlikely friendship considering their past of Cabby tormenting Bot with trying to figure out what they are, this experience ultimately led Bot to being able to connect with someone. This opened up Cabby's eyes to listening to people and they formed a great friendship. Despite Cabby knowing all the facts of everyone, she never truly understood everyone, but now she did with Bot. And likewise, Bot understood Cabby. Bot realized that these files aren't harmful and actually help Cabby with a serious issue she has. So Bot stood up to test Tube about this and ultimately assured Cabby that her files are okay, as long as she is always open to changing them and being open about it. So Cabby became a great resource and competitor until the finale, where she used this as an opportunity to try and redeem herself to everyone. Things were going south until Bot assured her that she doesn't need to apologize and that her files are okay as a tool for herself. So as Cabby realized this on the conflict against the Invitationals that she has always been misunderstood, she bravely tells everyone about how her files help her and that she needs them, and she ultimately showed off how she redeemed herself from the start, and she's truly more open now. This gave her the win as everyone realized that she was misunderstood and they judged her too quickly. She and Test Tube made up and now she's a great and efficient leader in the OSC that is responsible for maintaining cooperation in the new society. Holy shit, Cabby is so peak, she is just misunderstood and such an entertaining character to watch. She's truly a gem, and I'm definitely getting her new plush when it releases because her previous plush is kinda chopped, just like this stupid costume. At number 3, we have Microphone. Microphone went through such an amazing story in Season 2, where she really learned the value of honesty. She debuted in Season 2 where she competed in the Grand Slams. At first, she was just any other contestant, but it wasn't until her loudness because she is a microphone really became a problem. She kept messing up and kept self-sabotaging and just making mistakes in general, so this caused her to have a reputation in her team. She was seen as not confident. So really, the team saw her as a screw-up and didn't trust her or value her. So she tried so hard to become more trusted, but she always failed. She grew a friendship with Soap, but she got eliminated the same episode, but Soap had listened to Microphone's problems of not being valued. So Soap advised her to listen to Heart before she got eliminated. As Microphone continued writing in her diary, Taco enacted her plan of getting Microphone under her wing. She listed reasons why Microphone should listen to her. Of course, Microphone was skeptical, but Taco's reasons stayed with her because, well, they were kinda true. At this point, Microphone was really consistent on messing up and not seen in a good light. Taco offered help and in return, they split the million 50-50. So as Microphone began continuing to think about what happened, she realized that she could use her game to hear Taco. So she took Taco's help in the maze challenge. Taco gave her the directions so Microphone ended up winning first. Microphone continued listening to Taco, but Taco always wanted to resort to violence and harming others, while Microphone really disagreed with that, but she would still listen to her orders and ended up heightening Balloon's anxiety, which costed him the challenge and caused him to get eliminated, along with Nickel, which just broke the dynamic of the team. Microphone felt guilty about causing the alliance to split, but while she continued receiving Taco's help, Knife ended up catching on to what was happening. So as Microphone continued listening to Taco, they both had to find a way to get Knife off of their trail. At first, Microphone offered Knife to join them, but he declined due to Taco's presence. Knife ended up keeping it a secret anyways to protect Microphone from being caught. But as Microphone continued listening to Taco, she began to become more malicious. But, she was also making a name for herself. The other contestants began to see her more brightly, but deep down, Microphone knew she was being dishonest, and that she didn't earn this. So, as she continued doing horrible things, Knife ended up trying to convince her to stop listening to Taco. She assured that she has a voice in this, but Knife knew that wasn't true. So Taco revealed that she ended up putting Me-Pad on sleep mode and dragged her along in another scheme to win her immunity. But Taco had gone too far, she invaded the spaceship and immediately killed Test Tube and electrocuted Fan. As Microphone assured they came in peace with the aliens, Taco used this to plan to harm them. This was the moment Microphone realized how awful Taco is, and that she really didn't have a say in this. But Microphone continued anyways and won immunity. But, as the contestants cheered her on, she finally stood up to Microphone and got rid of her. As the elimination began, Microphone did the right thing, she decided to save her reputation and disqualify herself. The game became too much for her, as she was pushed beyond her limits and did things she would never want to do, so she realized it's enough and got out of the game. I loved her storyline here, it was so awesome and it was such a great dynamic she had. Really great storyline that showed how Microphone was pushed too hard and became villainous, and someone she didn't want to be, so he got rid of Tak and got herself out too. However, time had passed so she finally moved on from the whole thing. She also reunited with Soap and they both became great friends. When it was finale time, contestants were getting wiped out, so everyone was needed, including Taco. But Taco didn't budge to anyone, so Microphone realized it was time for her and Taco to reunite. They both reconnected and Taco apologized for everything she did to her, so Microphone accepted and brought her along. They both were now on good terms. Anyways, the events of the movie proceeded and it's time for Season 4. With the reintroduction of the game, Taco realized this could be their chance for a greater alliance for both of them, along with Soap. Microphone planned for this season for herself to not keep any secrets in the game. However, her continuing to become friendly with Taco has caused some sort of discomfort with Soap. So for the future of Microphone, I think she will be caught in some sort of crossfire with her alliance as they are not getting along with each other. However, I love Microphone for who she is, her great storyline in Season 2 and now trying to not keep secrets anymore. She's gotten great development and has improved immensely. And you already know I voted for her to receive a plush. Speaking of Microphone, at number 2 we have Taco. I really love Taco for her evolution and becoming genuinely such an entertaining villain. It all started in Season 1, where she was this show's version of Rocky. She was stupid and silly, and that was it. Hey, her stupidity caused her to have skills that were baffling that ended up winning the challenge for the team. While she was simply a joke character, I remember not really caring about her that much. She did make me laugh a couple of times, but it was only because of her like deliveries. Other than that, just another stupid contestant. But I did find her funny. It wasn't until the finale where she was all of a sudden really great in the challenges. She ended up being a runner-up, so she revealed herself to actually just be British, and that she was pretending to be an idiot to be a fan favorite and get all the way to the end. This reveal was not insane, but it was shocking, but it was still funny in the end. If this was it for her, I wouldn't really care about her that much, but it wasn't until next season where she took advantage of her sneaky and strategic personality to work from behind the scenes and get Microphone to win the season, and she can finally win some money. Sure, it was half of the winnings, but money is money. She stalked the contestants for a while, but Microphone took her attention as the perfect target, and began using her insecurities against her to agree to work with her. After Taco left an impression, she stayed behind the scenes awaiting for Microphone to turn up her game so she can listen to her. That's when Taco gave the directions of the maze to her, and from then on, she began giving Microphone various tasks and strategies that focused on violence and malicious intent. Safe to say Taco was not a morally great character. This gave her the role of a secret villain behind the scenes, as her actions conveyed through Microphone, making Microphone seem like a villain character due to her various actions, like causing an alliance to split and going against morale to win challenges and keeping Taco's identity a secret. Taco manipulated and pushed Microphone too far as challenges went on. From recommending tasers that paralyzed people, to being okay with Knife dying, she was just a menace. While she was working with Microphone and they both built some sort of friendship, Taco was actually the one in control and didn't care too much for Microphone. During this, Knife did figure out what was going on, and while Knife did keep her a secret for Microphone, Taco and Knife both still had turmoil with each other. It wasn't until the aliens kidnapped Fan that Taco went all out. She kidnapped Meepad and put him in sleep mode and used his technology to teleport to the spaceship and kill Test Tube, and tase Fan. While Microphone told the aliens that they come in peace, she was ready to kill some aliens for absolutely no reason. Yeah, this girl got issues. After she got Microphone immune, she was eventually dumped by her. She was heartbroken about this, and realized she pushed her too far and lost her. I guess this made her realize how lonely and sad she is because now she truly has no one. And this made her realize the horrible truth of inanimate insanity, about how it's all a game about control and making contestants worse. So she woke up Meepad so she could see what the next challenge is. Realizing that it could help her plan, she begins to form a way to get the contestants to quit the game so they can no longer be under the control of the game. With this, she plans on taking inanimate insanity down, along with Meepad. But as Meepad continues trying to find a way to get Taco better, we get one of the best songs in inanimate insanity. That's right, it's time to talk about Taco's tirade, originally called Drop the Mic. Spicy. This song is Taco's villain song, and essentially, the meaning behind this song is how Taco reflects on herself as an outcast due to the game, and the other contestants are also talking victims to the game, so she plans on taking the game and the harm it's causing everyone down. But the other half of the song consists of her and Meepad having a duet about her issues. She believes she's not redeemable in any fashion due to the harm she's caused, all the friendships she's broken, the actions she's done. But Meepad continues pleading to her. But Taco puts it down and continues calling out how the game harms everyone, and lastly calls out how she's gonna bring the game down and expose everyone's lies. So she enacts her plan and becomes making some sort of twisted therapy, where she asks everyone questions about various issues they've faced, and she'd light on the truth of the harm they've gone through. She also uses this to show that Knife knew about her presence, and this causes everyone to not trust him. So once she asks a question that leads to Suitcase confessing her hallucinations, she finally starts calling out the harm of the game. But unfortunately it backfires, and she believes someone she has a past with is coming to the game. So she panics and eventually breaks. As she's revived, she realizes that she's gone too far and must reconcile with her past figures. She tries apologizing to Pickle, but it goes horribly wrong and he dies in front of her. So she's traumatized and refuses to talk to anyone during the dire circumstances. So Microphone reaches out to her and they both reconcile. Taco apologizes for the harm she caused her and they both make up. This causes Taco to redeem herself and help the contestants find a way to stop cops. Eventually, she and Microphone end up being great friends. Now in Season 4, a new competition opens, so she sees this as an opportunity to have a new alliance with Microphone along with Soap. But unfortunately, due to her trying to make a new name for herself by being more honest, this causes some discomfort with Soap and eventually causes both of them to have some sort of turmoil. While with Microphone, she believes that they both have such a great and close connection. It's unclear of what's ahead for Taco, but her going from having a facade of being some stupid joke, to actually being sneaky and conniving and becoming a villain from behind the scenes in the next season. She pushes her soul partner too far and eventually realizes the reality of the game, so she tries shutting it down, but it goes wrong, so she starts redeeming herself, and now a new future is ahead for her. I can't wait for what's in store for Taco. At number 1, my most favorite character is Knife. I mostly have Knife as my favorite character because of his personality. He's at first a typical mean jerk, but as the show evolves, he starts to let go of being a jerk, but he still attains that brash, hostile, and generally angsty attitude, which I dig. But he no longer harms and bullied others, as he now has a more softer side that is observant and empathetic. He wants to help others. Like, yeah, Knife on the outside may seem like some mean arrogant dude, but deep down, he cares and doesn't like seeing people being put down. But why is this? Well, in Season 1, he started out as the typical mean character. He bullied Marshmallow and was just not a fun person to be around. He was very rude to everyone. There was nothing more to him, just a rude person. It wasn't until Season 2 where he really got better. In the beginning, he was still that jerk character, but he seemed more lonely, I guess. And it wasn't until Trophy found out that Knife actually had a Dora doll that he would only rely on, even call it his only friend. So when Trophy wanted to show the picture of him with the doll, Knife pleaded and he ended up being a victim of blackmail. It was something Knife had never experienced before. For so long he was the one doing the bullying and the tormenting. This really put him down, as this really heightened his hatred for everything. It wasn't until he finally stopped giving a shit and just let Trophy show the picture anyways. But it turns out people only laughed for a bit, and then eventually turned on Trophy. This put Knife in a more lighter path as he started being a bit more kind to others. He still had some troubles, like when Nickel had to teach him sarcasm, but he was still going in the right direction. He was letting go of his rudeness and becoming a better person. It wasn't until episode 7 where he started applying it to others. He saw how affected Pickle still was from his betrayal from Taco, so Knife decided to give him some advice. While he directly wanted to help Pickle, he still didn't want to do it in a way that was mushy, and I relate, so he did it in a way that would make it seem like he's talking about a video game. When Knife saw how that genuinely helped Pickle, that was his first step in truly becoming a better person. While throughout the season he remained the edgy, cool, tough guy, he took the next step when he noticed just how ugly Nickel was being to Suitcase, making her a victim of circumstance and just in general ruining her mental health. So he had a conversation with Suitcase that really helped her open her eyes on what Nickel and Baseball were doing to her and Balloon. He was the one that got Suitcase to stand up to Nickel. And sure, it kinda backfired. He was still there for Suitcase in the end. At the same time, he also saw Microphone's situation with receiving help from Taco. But he kept quiet about it. But he didn't let it go. He would continue to voice his suspicions towards her until finally Microphone and Taco decided a way to get Knife off their trail. They offered him a spot in their alliance, but he declined. It was clear that he had resentment against Taco for all the things she did. So finally, when Microphone just pleaded for Knife to not tell anyone, Knife agreed due to not liking his experience with being blackmailed by Trophy. So Knife agreed to stay quiet and told them that Fan and Suitcase are being really analytical about everyone, so they should really keep their eyes opened. One thing I like about Knife is that while he does help others, he keeps his brash and angry personality and attitude. Which I honestly relate to. You guys know me only through these videos, and while I'm usually happy because I'm talking about my interests, in real life, I'd say that I'm kinda engulfed in anger. It's just some personal stuff. And I think that's why I love Knife. I'm not intentionally rude, but it's just I have that angry and angsty attitude, but just like Knife, I don't go around bullying others, I just keep to myself. However, I think the way Knife does it just seems really cool. He's just a cool as hell character. Back to his story, he does help Microphone see how Taco is using and pushing her, which helps her stand up to Taco. He's also been very strategic throughout the season as he proposes voting out Test Tube due to her intelligence being a threat, so it shows that he's not dumb anymore like in Season 1. In the next challenge, Taco reveals her status and interrogated them all, but Knife is unfazed until he is forced to reveal he knew about Taco. And it's also revealed that no one really trusts him, so that actually sets his mood down. But as the challenge continues, he does tell Taco she needs to face her truths, and is the one that asks Mephone if he'll bring her back. Which shows that despite her malicious towards him, he does care for her well-being. When it's time for Suitcase to choose who survives, she ends up choosing Knife due to him being a great friend to her. And in the finale, they both work together and navigate the reality of what's going on. They both truly went through a lot together and were both faced with their greatest challenges yet together. They both came up with the plan of sacrificing themselves to save the Shimmers. And in the afterlife, they both work together to bring back the contestants. But during this, Knife has to confront his past. He has to confront his issues with his anger, and how he doesn't need to push it down, instead to use it to help him. Also, he did torment Marshmallow in the past, so now she's just not in a great spot with him. But when he sees she's about to be wiped from existence, he sacrifices himself to save her. Despite their troubled history together, he ends up caring for her in the end. And now he's a ghost, but he still remains with Suitcase as great friends, as she's always thankful for the helper he's been, despite his brashness. But they both were the ones that saved Inanimate Insanity, and now he resides as a ghost in the new society, and sticks with Suitcase. So in all honesty, I love Knife's sides to him, how he's an angry brash guy with an edge, but also empathetic and caring now. I definitely do relate to him, but I really love his development. It worked so well, and I'm glad he got his spot as a finalist, as he truly deserved it and fit well as he saved the contestants with Suitcase. And you already know I got his plush. This was actually my first plush from the show. So yeah, Knife is definitely my favorite character. As that's the characters that I'm most grateful for. Inanimate Insanity has extremely great characters, and it was kinda hard to choose my top 5, but overall these were the characters I love the most. The ones I'm grateful for the most, they truly helped shape up the show for me and helped on making Inanimate Insanity my favorite object show, the one I'm grateful for the most. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm truly grateful I have you guys. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, and a great day regardless for those who don't. Goodbye.